Alrighty then. Share to Facebook, share to Facebook. Inviting people. Oh, Lord. Oh, hello, people. I am inviting folks out there. So I wanted to invite right there. So invite your friends, invite your enemies. That's what I'm doing now. I don't have any enemies on this list here, but Uncle Birch coming to you live from New Orleans. I started a little bit early. We're going to be having some guests on screen here. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Which was... No, I don't want to tag them. That's scary. Mr. Mojo. I'm just gonna invite every one of these people until I run out of people that I can invite. And there we go, there's 15 more. Hey y'all, Aunt Marta's here. Well, look at that Lux Crystal Lady. Hello. Melissa, hello. User 848, hello. Thank you for liking the live. Yeah, if you're in there, hey, we all got to work. Hit that button. Hit that button. Hit that button. Melissa, how are you? Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. We're going to be having some guests on screen here. I totally predict myself moving this party indoors. It sucks. Yaha bin Syria, I don't know you, so I'm not bringing you on. We're bringing people on today that are going to be at WitchCon. And so the WitchCon is the largest online festival in the world. It was started during COVID and just keeps going because we had such a good time doing it. It's an online magical festival, so you don't miss any of the workshops. You can watch them later, you can watch them months later, you can watch them years later. You pretty much own the workshops. Epic presenters, if you've got a spare screen, get over there to witchcon.com and look at the lineup. It should blow you away. And of course, I'm there. But this year is the year that I badgered my friend Christian Day, who does the festival, into having witch talk witches. My argument is that for the longest time, the big name pagans have been authors, and that is not the case anymore. We have very famous witches out here on TikTok and other social media outlets that have not penned a word, including myself. I am not an author. I may be at some point, but I've been doing these festivals. And so that was kind of my argument. I go, well, you have me all the time, right? And I'm clearly an epic presenter, right? And I'm not an author. Some people said that Bree put out her book in a hurry so she could get on WitchCon. She was already booked for WitchCon. She didn't need a book. That was stupid. I don't even remember who said that. Probably Ursa. Yeah, actually, I do know who that is. Which with two dogs, thank you for the flowers. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Haven't been live for a bit. It is this viento malo here, this evil wind is just blowing right through me. So I may You may lose this epic scenery at some point and be looking at one of my walls, because I might move into the dining room if it keeps up like this. As you can see, I'm clearly bundled up. Bree was booked before the book. Absolutely. Hey, that booked before the book. I see what you did there. Yeah, she was booked before the book. So, of those people, we got the Spirit Witch, but Spirit Witch been booked before, so I can't take credit for that one. Bree, Jen Norman, Kelly from the Eye of the Cat, my witch sister, the daughter of my witch mother, is going to be on the bill, and I'm thrilled about that. Witchfoot, hopefully. Hard to get a hold of Witchfoot. Hard to confirm Witchfoot. I haven't heard if they've yet gotten a hold of her. Witchfoot. Got Witchfoot on there. He was trying to get Seraphima on there, but she was playing hard to get. I've never seen a gay guy court a woman so hard. At any rate, Uncle Birch, coming to you live from New Orleans. We're going to be bringing some of those people on when they get here. There was some confusion with the time zone, so it's quite possible that Bree won't show up for like an hour. I don't think Brew Orion got booked. I don't think so. But epic lineup with some the Witch Talk Witches, and that's who I'm going to try and bring on today, and put out the shout to the other WitchCon presenters. And if any of them are Witch Talk Witches, well, then we'll bring them on the screen too. Talk about what they're going to do, talk about the festival. Most of these folk haven't even been to WitchCon yet. I mean, you don't really go to WitchCon. It's weird. I don't really go anywhere, but all weekend long, I'm in festival mode. I feel it. I'm watching workshops. There's this, the Zoom meet and greet is epic. Just random witches all weekend long pop into this Zoom meet and greet, and we hang out and party together. And back when we first did it, it was during COVID, so that made it very special. In addition to the epic lineup at WitchCon this year, one that I'm really excited to see is Rachel True. If you don't know, Rachel True was one of the actors in the original movie The Craft, the African American one, The Token. But she turns out to be a practitioner, and she made her own, created her own tarot deck. I think it's loosely based on the Rider-Waite, and a book that goes with that. And I believe she's teaching something about tarot. But Rachel True, that's two from the original movie The Craft that were actual practitioners. Firuza Balk, absolutely epic practitioner, total witch with a capital W. The one that everyone overlooked, especially Hollywood. Yes, and then Firuza, I think it was shortly after The Craft, she bought the oldest occult store in the country, Pan Pipes, which was just a little walk from our place in Hollywood, right there. I think it was on Vine. Yeah, I think it was on Vine. So major street in Hollywood, right down there. Just a stone's throw from the Walk of Fame and stuff. And I believe she owned it for close to 10 years. Doesn't own it anymore, but. She was absolutely a practitioner. She advised them on a lot of the stuff in the movie. I'm hoping she's not the one that told them to call the corners when casting the circle. Yeah, they did that in The Craft. One of my biggest pet peeves. Coenga, not Vine. Okay. We were on Vine. Yeah, okay, it's the next street over. Thank you. There was an ad advisor for the movie, and she won more money. Nice. Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. We're talking about WitchCon. Waiting for the other Witch Talk presenters that are going to be presenting at WitchCon, and then we're going to bring them on screen. I gotta check my settings actually. Make sure I have my. Hear your voice, moderators, music. No, that's not it. What do I need to hit? I need to hit this? No. This? No. Oh, and there's Kelly. All right. So I'm trying to set up here so you could tell me how to do it. Okay, let's see. Okay, I've got it. It's set up right. I have enough boxes there.
Shh. Hi.
Got Kelly, my witch sister from the Eye of the Cat. We technically went to high school together, even though I only went to that high school. I only showed up for like 3 days, I think.
Right.
I stayed on the roll until they kicked me out, and then studied witchcraft full time at your mom's shop, which now imagine your shop has come so far.
I know.
Just based on the pictures I've seen. I remember walking in there after, probably like, 20 years, your mom was still there, and walked into that back altar room, and I go, wow, did you guys have a fire? And the person just goes, no, that's soot.
That's soot from incense.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, for about 50 years, you get a black ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. They took after the actual fire, they took down all the walls and everything is, what is it? Swiss mocha white now. And I'm just like, ugh, it's too clean.
Well,
This doesn't feel right.
well, I remember one time, I think it was on, oh God, what was that awful review site where you had to pay them? I don't even remember those people, but people would leave reviews about their competition on that. I forget what it was.
I can't remember what it's called either.
I think it's obsolete. I haven't heard about it forever, but they said that they wanted to call the health department.
Yeah.
It was like the health department. So you're not serving food.
Right. Well, and I think it was because it was, when you first walked in, both sides, the walls were just filled with herbs. So everybody assumed that every single one of those was a consumable, but, didn't work like that. Yeah, people crazy. And I mean, they don't say it now, but that kind of mentality hasn't really stopped. Haters gonna hate.
Well, your mom seemed to wildcraft the majority of the herbs.
We still do. There's
So,
still a
yeah.
lot of things we have to grow if we want it.
Yelp was the word. Thank you, Marta.
Yep. Obsolete.
Yeah, Yelp. Yeah, yeah, and I actually had a Yelp representative contact me for $300 a month. They would make my good reviews float to the top and my bad reviews sink to the bottom. And
Or magically disappear.
yeah, and then, so at that point, it's like, oh, I see, it's a scam. At one time, somebody threatened to turn me into the Better Business Bureau, and then I found out that if you're not participating with the Better Business Bureau, it doesn't fucking matter. You got to be a member of the Better Business Bureau for them to report you to the Better Business Bureau. So
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know
that's
that.
something else that's obsolete. Yeah, I didn't know that either until somebody threatened to report me to them for some crap.
God. Yeah, haters gonna hate. What are you gonna do? You can't, there's nothing you can do. You absolutely can't please everybody. You're always gonna have one customer who you didn't give enough attention to, and they're gonna act like, we were the rudest people in the world. And simply we were either having a bad day or we just were busy and they didn't get the attention they wanted.
Well, actually, yeah, I got a series of bad reviews on Yelp one time from somebody that came to our rituals, and I didn't pay enough attention to her. Apparently, was the problem, and I didn't remember her name. And I said, and she went off on me. I said, well, quite frankly, you never did anything memorable. You hovered in corners, and you worked around a wallflower, and you never participated or contributed to the ritual. You just showed up and had me do everything for you. So if you want to be remembered, do something memorable. Like
And now she's remembered. Great
yeah,
way to be remembered.
like when somebody's birthday comes up on Facebook, say Merry Birthday. Everybody remembers when I wish them happy birthday because I always say Merry Birthday, and it's weird.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't want my 15 minutes of fame to be Karening out on something, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
prefer it to be like, she's awesome.
yeah. Cuban synergy. Malaikum salah. How are you? Thank you, everybody, for continuing to like. We're already at 1.8 thousand likes. I mean, I'm not going to be too controversial today, so I can't imagine what the haters could, you know. Yeah.
What? Well, I'm out then.
I made sure to put my beverage in a nondescript container, so I don't get, the controlled substance warning.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
if I vape, I'll lean off screen. They're right
Right?
next door now.
Well, I don't even have enough people following me to go like we just get to look at my logo. So that'll happen eventually. Apparently I just don't post enough. Content is hard.
Why?
Well, I mean, not for you, but you say something, I'm like, oh, that's good. I didn't think of that. But I mean, maybe that's what I'll do. Every time you go on and post, I'll just post the same thing, but I'll be saying it.
Yeah, whatever works. My I had a student, 14 years old. He took 3 classes of a 5 class intro. It's kind of like Wicca 101 kind of thing. And I've never had somebody that young finish the class. I'm the only one I know that young that ever finished the classes. Went through. It's just like they're all so scattered and all over the place at that age. And then somebody told me that he was out on YouTube teaching witchcraft. And I went and I found his page. And he had absorbed everything I said in 3 days,
Wow.
retranslated it into his own language and delivery, and was out there teaching witchcraft. I sent him a message that said, hey, nice job. Nice job. I mean, I recognize, my own life. I was not authorized to teach when I started teaching. I
No, you weren't.
teaching a couple weeks into class, and then I got in trouble, and then
Yep.
she said, "You cannot teach. You are not initiated to teacher." And I said, "Well, Mom, what you meant was I may not. Whether or not I can would depend on my students and what they've absorbed from my classes." And then they did this council, and when the smoke, they had 5 of my students go in there, and when the smoke cleared, they came out and they rushed me into the teaching program. I was student teaching with somebody. They scheduled my first degree initiation, pre-scheduled my teacher's initiation, and just rushed me into it. And so I look at this kid, and I was like, God, he just went out there and just started fucking teaching. He didn't
Good
ask
job.
anything. I love that. Yes. And so
Yeah.
I said, hey, nice job, man. I
Yeah.
really got something from that class. He goes, you should do that. I go, what? He goes, teach witchcraft on YouTube. I go, oh, no, 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 you cannot do that. It's against the
It's
rules.
against the
I
rules.
felt so old. And then I thought about it for a minute. I said, wait a minute. I'm the only high priest within 50 miles in my tradition, and though I fought against it many a time, my tradition is littered with the words, and none may say him nay.
Correct.
So,
It's literally it is written in our bylaws that you shall find a way.
yeah, and the priest, the high priest in charge, can decide what can be distributed to the masses, and
Yep.
none may say him nay. And I always
And
fought
none may
against that,
say him nay.
anarchist, but here I am. Now I'm the one that none may say me nay. So, uh, I argued with it, and then I felt really old, and then 10 minutes later, I made my first video. And my
And here we are today.
and my entire vision for it was I made several videos for the main basic spells that everybody would walk in every day wanting to
Yeah.
do. And then they'd come in, and I'd instruct them on the spell, and they'd write it down, and then they'd leave, and then they'd forget it, and they'd call me back, want me to tell them again how to do it. I go to YouTube, watch
Yeah.
this video. It's like my
That's what
vision.
I'm working on. I have a list, but the few videos that I do have up, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
Well, just
So it just I don't know. I hate them. I feel like I sound stupid. I feel like, like I'm stuttering over my words. I hate them. But, I get it. I get people to say, give me, like, tell me, what do I need to change? And they're like, it's good. It's fine. So I don't know. I get it. I've got a whole list of ones I need to do. The spell that is the go-to, is just the basic paper freezer spell,
Oh
like
yeah.
just you got all this trouble, freeze your enemy in their track. You got 28 days, then you can actually calm down, formulate an idea of what you want to do. You're so spazzy right now. There's no way you're going to be able to perform successful magic when your mind is just cluttered with all this bullshit. So I'm going to try to put that one on, but ugh.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. You gotta be in the right mind frame. Um, and again, as I always say, my favorite book that I don't recommend anybody out there read is the 48 Laws of Power. And in the 48 Laws of Power, it says never take an action based on an emotion.
Right.
And that's so important. It's like I'm still a Cancer, so I am emotional, but I'm pretty in control of my emotions. I put it in a little pocket and evoke that emotion at spell time, because those are powerful. Those are powerful energy forces. These emotions, but you control them and use them at the right time. You don't let them make you decide what to do, because those things don't tend to work out very well.
Right. Exactly.
Not being part of a tradition I
I
distribute with
distribute whatever doesn't get
unalived.
me unalived.
That's what
2D
we
alchemist,
have
that's
to talk. We have to
that's a that's
say
a good motto.
grape, unalive, pew pew. We have to talk like children out here, man. Some of the comments in this live were filtered to protect the community experience. So who the hell told you to filter my comments?
I don't know, was it because I said BS
Ah,
loud
no, it was a
and
comment.
enthusiastically?
Somebody typed
Use
something.
the F word all the time.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm trying not to, because that gets you flagged these days, and that's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
know.
best known. My most sought after song is "Have a Happy Effing Day,"
Yeah.
and my I look back at my punk days when I was like 13. That word was a filler. Anytime I
Yeah.
needed a couple syllables to fill a line, to make it rhyme and rhythm, I'd use the F word.
Yep. This works. Oh God. The
So Kelly,
punk
what's up?
days.
Your first time presenting at WitchCon?
Yeah, thank you. That's due to you.
Yeah, I worked it.
You
It was
did.
hard. He was very resistant, and
Yeah.
he keeps going on and on and on. I said, "Well, look, you have me at every Hex Fest. You have me at every WitchCon. I'm not an author. I'm an internet witch, and the internet witches are fucking out there. And I look at Witchfoot does have a book now. But you look at like Witchfoot before, she had a book, huge following.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm on my ninth account. So, I mean, I've lost, well, no, actually, I've got Uncle Birch 8 is also me. I don't post a whole lot there, but that's like my backup account. But so I've lost, 7 accounts.
Yeah.
And they seem to be getting better. I don't have as many community guidelines violations these days. And nowadays you can, when you're appealing, you can put a comment in the community guidelines. And I always say, my video is being maliciously mass reported. Please help. That seems to work,
Oh,
95% of the time.
that's cool.
Where before you just, appealed, and all you could say is, my video didn't violate community guidelines, click, and, you didn't get a whole lot, but that malicious mass reporting, you gotta,
Yeah.
it's like magic, you gotta use the right keywords.
Right. I feel what is the term? I feel my life was in danger. I feel my life was that was it,
Yes.
the last one.
Well, and I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
When I was a cop, that was the fine print for any time that you pulled your gun. In the
Yeah.
police report, I was in fear for my life, so I pulled my gun. I was in fear for my life, so I shot that motherfucker. I never shot anybody, but We use that all the time, and police still use that all
Right.
the time. And I don't see why a private citizen can't use that when the person threatening their life is the police.
Right.
That's those are magic words. Everybody should be able to use those magic words.
I love that you're doing the Warcraft again. I know last year you did um, Minecraft, and as important as that is, I this class that you're doing is my absolute favorite, and I am so bummed that we're in the same time slot together.
I know, but it's WitchCon, so we can watch each other later.
That's
Yeah, I
true,
saw
but
that. I saw
but
that.
I want to interact.
I know. I know. We could, get two screens. While you're doing your video, you'd be over here.
Right?
If you get good at that multitasking, then you're just, you're built for this. Like I kept telling people, it's like if you can go live, and you're going to be at WitchCon, just start going live. If you can be on camera talking about stuff and replying to the comments, you're ready. That's
Yeah.
all there is for WitchCon. I'll probably be sitting in this chair on this phone doing it. They say they want it, a hardwired internet connection. I've never had a problem just doing it off my phone. I spent a lot to get the internet out to the backyard. But the class that I'm doing, that's my, like that kid that took what I taught him and made it his own. Magical warfare feeding on your enemies is me taking one of your mom's coolest spells and tweaking it and making it my own.
Yeah.
You've grown up with those spells too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. And I think it's important because I think people need to know that they don't have to be lighting candles all the time for every little offense that happens, that by setting up these wards and protections and creating these, thought forms in this particular way, they're going to have so much less drama. And if they still have drama, they're probably the problem.
Yes, yes. Although, well, I don't want to give too much away. I utilized that technique so much, and I've turned it into a shield system.
Right.
Because the sigil's a triangle, and you can arrange the triangles into an orb. I've done that to other people. I've done that. I put that shield on other people that are in a really bad mood or something going on with them, and had it transform the energy and then reflect it back to them with an energy that I decided. So there's so many so many other variations. That think outside the box always. So many
Yep.
different ways to use that thing. I mean, originally your mom's spell was how to turn a bad situation to your advantage, I think.
Right.
And I should mention, if you Google Uncle Birch, you find my Amazon influencer list. And on my Amazon influencer list, that's where I first started it, to do a recommended reading list, because everybody always asks me that, and I can't remember a lot of the books. But some of the first things I put up there are the books by Jade. That's my witch mother. That's Kelly's actual mother. So that book's definitely there, and that book is Protection Spells and Charms by Jade. I did end up having to take down the money magic one because
Yeah, it's going to be back out in print. So it was supposed to be re-released January. And then I sent it in, and the actual printer messed up the guidelines. So the book was like off-centered, and my copy that I got back it was horrible. So they're like, "Oh yeah, you have to adjust it." So I adjusted it. Took me a month, sent it back, and they're like, "Why do you have all this off there?" I'm like, because anyway, long story short, it was a misprint, and I'm still working on fixing all those. And I I lost steam because I've redone that book so many times, and now I'm having to put it back the way that it was, but it will be back out in no time. And one of our second publisher, he went and found I guess he went into a storage and he found about 500 copies of the book, of the one that had the pentagram on the front, you know.
Yeah.
And he's put those back up for sale on Amazon, so you can still actually get it would be the second edition money book. That so it is available again, but the updated one that has all of our recommended times and it has the supply list that you need, that one will be out just as soon as I work up the energy to finish it, because I'm, like I said, I lost steam and start working on it and I'm angry.
So, do you have a website that's not impossible to rattle off? I remember
Yes.
the first one; it was really hard.
Yes. So, well, what happened was when you Googled when you just went into Google, it sent you to like the Google page, and that website, it wasn't our website. It was just kind of like Google's version of our website, and it didn't have anything, but it is theeyeofthecat.com. And there's a link in, I think, pretty much all my bios to it, where you can go either through Linktree or you can go to the website itself. Excuse me. So, but yeah, it's theeyeofthecat.com.
Wow. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is the store that I grew up in. This is where I went to witch school. Kelly's actual mom was my witch mom. I called her mom.
Yep.
And the Eye of the Cat just had its 50th anniversary.
Isn't that insane? Do you know how old that makes us?
I know. Well, I've been teaching for 45 years, so that means the Eye of the Cat was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, that makes us old. I know. That happens to me all the time. But, I had to get old, to be an elder. I think I was,
right.
I'd be like 40 something when I finally got elder. But, I hadn't really been in contact. And I remember the last time I was there, your mom was at the tarot table.
Yeah.
And I was wandering around, looking at how much the shop had changed. I didn't, kind of nodded at her and didn't say anything. Then I was up front, and then all of a sudden I hear your mom go, "Igor?" That was my name back then. And then next thing you know, she said, she accused me of sprinkling powder on the floor. What was that? And she's like, "Oh, Carl, what are you doing over there? What are you up to?" And then next thing you know, I'm sitting down and she's pulling cards.
Yep.
And Marta saw it.
Yep.
That is the only woman to this day that just can make me quake in my boots, and I'm stammering and stuttering and losing my shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turned out it's like in the reading the whole powder thing came out, and it was like, and I didn't see any powder on the floor. And she said, "Well, it's because it's it's flour. You're baking something. You're creating something." So it's like that was kind of her old lead-in. She was just kind of fucking with me.
Right.
Powder.
Or she literally saw something, but it wasn't like nobody else could.
Yeah.
That happened to her all the time. It was just as real as it could be. And she would say, "It's right there. Mom, I don't see anything." Right there. Okay. So it's there. What does it say? Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
So, those of you that still joining, we're talking to Kelly from the Eye of the Cat. She's one of the presenters at WitchCon this year. We have a whole bunch of Witchtokers on WitchCon this year. WitchCon is the largest online magical festival in the world, and you need to get over there to witchcon.com and see that epic lineup, including the epic lineup of Witch Talk Witches. It's going to be crazy. It's all online, so you don't have to miss anything. You can watch them later. You can watch them for years later. And probably the funnest part about the entire event is the Zoom meet and greet, where all night long, and me and Marta spend a lot of time in this Zoom meet and greet. It's just so fun. You never know who's going to pop up. And we're, drinking and smoking and hanging out and all that stuff. And this is, it started during COVID, so we were all, lonely. And then they just never stopped it. Matter of fact, after the first one, I paid, I think it was $140 just to have Zoom. I said I would do some classes on it and make it pay for itself, but I never actually got around to doing that. But just so me and Marta could randomly have Zoom parties, and we did a lot. Just random witches we posted on Facebook and stuff. So, what are you teaching at WitchCon?
I'm going to talk about witch's flying ointment. I'm going to give a little bit of the history of it because it's been pretty misunderstood. We're going to talk about some of the ingredients that go into it, how you can make it yourself, if you can obtain supplies. There's the psychoactive ingredients that are in there. So people who don't want any part of that, I have a light version. So that's what I'll be talking about. I think for me, the history of it is the most fun because, it started out as medicine.
Yeah.
It wasn't this psychotropic, have visions, journey walk kind of thing. It was medicine. So, it became misunderstood in what the 14th, 15th, 16th centuries. It just became the work of demons, and it's how witches got to their, devil worshiping rituals that they flew on broomsticks to. So we're going to talk a lot about that, and just I actually love the history of it. That's always my favorite part. I love mythology. I love, diving into like, well, why were they thinking this, and what made them come across that. So that's a lot of what we'll be kind of looking at, the part that, and not the boring part of it. I need to be entertained. So I'm going to share the things that entertained me. The aspect of one, there's a story that I'm going to tell, and it's all centered around a fart. So
I'm here to tell y'all, the Eye of the Cat, their flying ointment is the real deal. And I've seen a lot of BS flying ointments out there. So yeah, the flying ointment I grew up with, yeah, it could be dangerous. You had to make sure you didn't have any, open cuts or wounds or anything like that, or you'd really fly.
yeah, yeah,
But it's a real deal. And I was 13, so this is when I was experimenting with substances. So of course I was going to try that one.
right. Back then it was so easy to get a lot of the psychoactive herbs. It was so easy. Now we're either growing them or we have friends who grow them. It's a lot harder to make than it used to be. So in fact, this weekend, no, next weekend, this weekend. Next weekend, um my girlfriend and I will be actually putting them in containers. We started making the new batch, so it's almost ready. So yay, because I've been out for a while. We needed a couple ingredients, so she had to grow them.
I figured that's what you were talking about, Witch with Two Dogs. Yeah, they used to douse the broomstick with flying ointment and hop around on it. And of course they were naked, so yeah, it would get into certain crevices,
Yeah,
and they got really high and
yeah.
kind of fly.
And that's definitely one of the topics I go in, and I, myth bust a lot of that, and we talk about, you know, actual application, and but yeah, I, logically I just I'm not going to say not that nobody used a broomstick, because there's people out there who are into that kind of kink, but you know there's a lot easier ways to get it there.
So I'm hoping we'll probably have Bree in here in about a half an hour. I swear, Bree has a problem with time zones. We did this before when
But
she was
didn't
in.
you just move to another time zone?
I think it's still Eastern time.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Khan, I don't know you, so what we're doing here right now, Sarah, is we're having Witchtokers that are also presenters at WitchCon. So I'm not really bringing random people on at this point. Need a mod on this account? Yeah, probably. How do I do that? Let's see. Settings, moderators. No, Lori Brundage. You haven't been a moderator forever. Let me see. Sebastian. There you go. All right. You are a moderator, sir. Don't be like kicking people off. Let's yes. Yes, check out witchcon.com. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Yes, witchcon.com. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. And it's always weird stuff. I don't really go anywhere, but I'm just in festival mode for that whole weekend. And I typically take my laptop and hook it up to the big screen TV, and we watch it on the big screen. Who wants to learn the dark arts? Sent a link, a mate of mine. Okay, where'd you send that? I mean, I got you. You got my phone number. You're on my Facebook. You're on my TikTok. Sometimes I have too many methods of communication with people, and they'll like start a conversation on one method and continue it on another, and it just scatters the fuck out of me. I'm almost caught up in witch school. Definitely recommend it to you. Yes, I should mention, because it's only a couple days away, February 1st will be the opening of Witch School Level 1 again. I have 3 of them going right now, so you want to make sure that it says February 2024. The class will not exist until February, so don't sign up for another class. I can't believe I have to tell people this all the time. It's like, know what month you're in, know what year it is before clicking on something. So February 1st, it's over there at gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL, or you can hit the link tree in my profile and hit classes. It'll take you over there. What you want to do is follow me. Go over there and follow, and February 1st, when I launch the class, you will get a notification, and you will have the entire month of February to sign up. He's an Android user, unfortunately. That doesn't matter for Witch School. We have still out there on the internet, in the Apple Store, is WitchLens, our social media application, and it's still working, and people are doing stuff. I pop over there every so often. It's out there just doing it, living its life. But the technicians have ghosted us. They've been really hard to get a hold of. It's been really impossible, pretty much, to get any improvements or to get the app ready for Android. I stopped telling people that it was going to happen. For a year, they would tell me what it was going to happen, then I would tell people, and then it never happened. But now we launched unholyblends.com. That is our online store and social media application. And in that, pretty much every single thing that we tried to get the technicians to use, or to fix, to do, stuff to add to that. We can do that all in Unholy Blends. We can post videos, we can post pictures. Thank you for visiting Unholy Blends, user 9416, Pittsburgh, California. But when you're there, you hit groups and forums, and then it takes you to the social media portion of it, and we can do all of the stuff that we couldn't get done on our own. And I for one, am a DIY. I don't want a technician that I have to beg to do stuff. So this I was able to set up in like 10 minutes. Bitchin' Kitchen Witchin', that's you, and you're from California. All right, right on. Well, thank you for stopping by there. But I think you follow one of the forums or something like that, and then you get notifications when we post stuff. But Sebastian, no, I'm Sebastian. I'm not on WhatsApp. Astrological lady just joined Unholy Blends. Oh, there you go. Yeah, figured it out. So Uncle Bert's coming to you live from New Orleans. We're talking to Kelly from the Eye of the Cat. We're waiting for Bree and Jen Norman maybe Spirit Witch, she might have the Rona,
Yeah.
but she said she might, might just do voice only or something like that. It says it's no longer in the App Store. Okay, I'll look. It may run out. Uh, it was attached to my credit card, and that it's the business account, so it might have finally run out. I've been paying to keep that thing on the App Store. I'll look and see what's up with that. But I'm not really advertising Witch Lens and trying to get people over there because it's almost an embarrassment at this point. Most of the shit that we needed to do over there just never could happen because I was at somebody else's mercy. And over there at Unholy Blends, we can do that. We can post videos, we can post pictures. We couldn't reply to each other. We couldn't like each other's posts. Couldn't even get that done over there, man. It's embarrassing. It was a lofty idea. Way before AI was happening, this project came down the pike, and the technician, that one of my students was getting his master's in AI, and so part of the project was the birch spot, and for years we were training this AI. Everything that I ever did, everything I ever said on the internet, loading it in there. It was going to be an artificial intelligence Uncle Birch.
That's frightening.
And that's what I was thinking. So wait a minute. So we're teaching artificial intelligence witchcraft? Then we're going to release it to the world? Oh, that's cool. That's scary.
Through your eyes, even.
Cool. So I don't know. That never happened. I mean, then Chat GPT came. I mean, if we could have got that out earlier, because now Chat GPT is starting to learn this shit. I've seen a friend of mine did made a mythical book about, which was odd, was Uncle Birch talking about Paulo, which I don't talk about. And it was pretty good. It was just kind of like the outline of a book, but it's like, it all sounded like shit I would say. And the Chat GPT thing just figured that out. It's scary.
I would have loved
Nina, how are you?
some of that AI technology while Mom was still alive.
Yeah. Well, I've used a little bit of it on our online store. I made a lot of the graphics with AI. It was like, okay, so I don't like pay somebody to make this graphic, and I have to like go back and forth with them, or just type it in here, and there's no copyrights, so I can use it.
Love that.
I did that with a lot of stuff, just like made some art. Which with two dogs, thank you. Always give me flowers. He's such a sweet guy. Regina.
So I was curious on here, how many of the folks who've joined us are registered for WitchCon?
Yeah, give us a roll call. Who has already signed up for WitchCon? We're over here talking about WitchCon. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Was it the 16th? Eric Cologne. Salam alaikum, sir. I'm just now looking at it. Okay. Wendy's registered.
Nice. I think my favorite part, I'm still watching some of the sessions from last year, and a few of them I've gone back to. They just...
That's the beauty of WitchCon. If you miss something, you can watch it again. You can, I think you could screen record it and save that forever. Or, they tend to keep it up for years at least.
Yeah.
So you never miss anything. You go to like Hexfest or something like that, you got to get strategic. Like plan your day out. It's like, who are we going to see? And then you got people at the same time. Well, you're going to have to make a choice.
At a live conference, you miss it. At this conference, if you can't attend it, so for, everybody's going to be in yours, they can come back and watch mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Think
that.
about it for us, we just, we just got to talk to a camera for an hour or so. I think 90 minutes, and get paid. Not bad. And that's the thing. I think, I want to see um, these witch talkers get paid. They're out
Yeah.
here providing content all the damn time. Oh, hey, Eric, you know who's going to be there this year? I just was going through the list. I hadn't really paid attention. I was only looking at the witch talkers. But Oriate. Oriate is presenting at WitchCon this year. they're not friends. The last I heard. Maybe they made up. Probably not. Probably not. We should try to get Eric on there next. I mean, I think this is the first time they had a. No, they've had a couple Poleros actually. Although Christian and them are really not into it. It's like he always talks shit to me. He's like, "Yeah, you're always over there killing chickens." It's like they're roosters, first off. It's like I don't know how many people have killed chickens at me, but nobody's got me yet. And I think, the Poleros that have to kill a rooster to get something done, they have no magic. And the first person that was almost my tata, who luckily wasn't, that's all he could do. That's all he could do is kill a rooster for everything.
No.
So many roosters died. There was no magic there. KFC practitioners. No, we got Popeyes, y'all. Okay. I think one time we got KFC here, and somebody goes, "What are you doing? You're in New Orleans. At least get Popeyes." But here, you have to work really hard to get some bad food in this town. Even like the liquor stores are serving absolutely great fried chicken. My friend Christian, before we ever moved here, he was always talking about getting gas station chicken. He wanted some gas station chicken. I'm going, "What are you doing?" There's a guy that buys $400 steaks. And I'm going, "What are you doing with gas station chicken?" Then I move here. It's like, no, man, shit. Everybody's got it. Every liquor store, every market, every gas station. They are serving hot food, and it's good.
Nice. I'll have to remember that next year or later this year when we're there.
Yeah, well, a thing that, yeah, I gotta, tell all the people when you come for Hex Fest, if we just get a little outside the quarter, everything's cheaper. And I learned this when I was working at Sassy Magic. There is an extra French Quarter sales tax. On top of the regular sales tax, there's a French Quarter tax. And the drinks tend to be weak in the French Quarter. They're tourist drinks, and the food's more expensive. So you just walk a couple blocks, get out of the French Quarter, everything suddenly becomes cheaper.
Oh,
But
good
I
to
love to go
know.
to the Empire Cafe, and that's like right there. So, and they have brunch now. So we did that last year. I think we're going to go to brunch again. Wait, were you with us? Did you go to brunch with us?
We went to
Bree was there.
Po' Boys.
Okay. See, you say it right. I just heard a lady on the local radio station yesterday call it Poor Boys.
What?
There's no R.
There's no R.
There's no R. Po Boys.
Po.
Po.
Yeah.
What's Crystal got it?
Yep, that's it. Po' Boys.
So hopefully we're getting Bree in here at some point. I try to get Witchfoot. Hoping Witchfoot's gonna make it, because I put my neck out to make get these witch talkers on there. I understand. I'm not ragging on Witchfoot. I know there's a lot going on, but maybe Witchfoot needs a manager or something that can actually contact WitchCon and let them know what's going on, and that'd be great. But I don't want this to bite me in the ass. This is my reputation I put on this stuff. I told him that there are some epic witches out here on Witch Talk, and you need to have some of them be presenters. I was on PantheaCon a long time ago. Yeah, I never presented at PantheaCon, but Back when I had my shop in California, it was about 20 minutes over the hill. So I pretty much had to go to PantheaCon.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes like me and Marta would like look at it, it's like there's absolutely not one workshop here that I want to see, but we still have to be there. So we would just like go for the day. We'd set ourselves up at the sushi bar and put on check in on Facebook and hold the court. And people would see us and they would stop by the sushi bar and sit down and hang out, and then they would go on their way, and we would just camp out the sushi bar all day and then go home. Sometimes we went to some parties and stuff, but there was a couple times we did not pay the admission fee or anything. We just went and hung out at the hotel.
Yeah, the room parties were the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. One time we spent all day at the sushi bar with really expensive fucking sushi, I gotta say. And then we went to a party where there was free sushi, and it was better. It was like sushi and absinthe, and it was way better sushi, and it was free. So that really,
man,
had a lot of fish that day.
Yeah.
Will we be
And
able to ask
absinthe.
harder questions at WitchCon? I have some questions for between me and you, and I don't know if Aunt Marta's still there. She was asked to be a presenter at WitchCon, and I don't know if I forget why. It's odd for a Leo. There's sometimes there are times when there's a lack of confidence, and it's really weird. And I kind of trip out. I go, "Who are you?" He's like, I don't know what to teach. It's like, bitch, you've been teaching for most of the
Forever.
time we've known each other. You're a high priestess. You know your shit.
You go to the grocery store today and you're teaching people.
Absolutely, she could totally teach. She said, she's trained. She was trained in the DCW way. She was trained as a teacher. She student taught with me and then taught with me. But I guess at the time, just wasn't a good time to ask her. But they did try and get Aunt Marta on there. Who, oddly enough, even though Aunt Marta does nothing on TikTok, she keeps getting followers all the time. I don't know how many followers she has, but she's here on TikTok. Hasn't done a damn video, but keeps getting followers. So I don't know if you'll be able to ask questions. But if you're on Facebook, me and Aunt Marta soon are going to be doing the Stay the Fuck at Home show reunion. It was a show we did every day, or at least on weekdays, all through COVID lockdown. Oh, Lux Lady Crystal, I adore her. Oh, I don't know if she's still here, but she's probably going, But so we did this thing, me and Marta on camera every day, and we just kind of developed like a whole family. These people were with us every day, and we know them to this day. And we're going to do a reunion show pretty soon coming on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, keep an eye out for that.
That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Marta is a Corel. As such, she has charisma, talent. She's a fucking character. So that was the first time we got her to get on camera and do that. And she's a total fucking character. She's made to do this kind of stuff. But just I'm still shocked that it happened. But she didn't. She lacked confidence when they asked her. It was like, well, what am I going to do? I can't teach anything. She says, fuck, yes, you can. And she's studying Russian and Ukrainian witchcraft. Who the hell knows anything about that? Except for me, because the books are on my shelf and I read them. But that's an untapped market. We haven't known anything about that type of witchcraft through the entire Cold War and stuff. We're just starting to find out about this stuff. And she knows this stuff.
Yep.
So maybe next year.
I think that'd be amazing. Absolutely.
A paycheck for an hour of your time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why WitchCon and HexFest are two of the best festivals ever.
Yeah.
The presenters get paid. You get what you paid for. There's several other festivals I'll be at. I think I'm going to be at Witches Fest again this year. I still have to file my thing, but I'm not going to get paid for that. So I'm still going to do a great class, even though I'm not going to get paid for that. But they should get paid. These it shouldn't just be authors getting paid. And then I think it was not last Hex Fest, but the one before that. We were still kind of, some places were in lockdown. Some people didn't have their vaccines, that kind of thing. And Christian came to me and he goes, hey, could you do like 2 more classes? And we'll pay you for them, but just, could you add 2 more classes? We need some more material. And I go, well, of course. I'm be sitting here teaching witchcraft on my phone anyways. Why not get paid for it? Second, 2D Alchemist is now registered. And
Yay!
I'm wondering if
Wait, I just saw Brie Witch. Is she here?
Yep, I just invited her.
Yay!
I'm wondering if there's some way, like, when you're registering, is there like, can you like add notes? Like, if there's a way for you to like type in who you're coming to see, that'd be great. But I don't know if they have that because I've never had to sign up because I'm always a presenter. But Bree's here.
Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I'm a day late and $1 short. Shit.
You got a real issue with time zones, clearly.
I do.
Well, I had your back. I said you just moved into a new time zone, or are you still in the same one?
Which is insane.
I'm in the same one.
Oh, sorry. I tried to help. I tried.
Thank
I
you.
had your back.
Well, so what's happening, guys? I missed all the good stuff.
Well, we've just been talking to Kelly about her class and stuff, talking about WitchCon, how fun it is, how much fun you're going to have, how much fun we're all going to have. Well, me and Kelly have been shooting the shit because, we go way back and, have...
Way back to 1980 something.
God.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, let me just, can I just jump in here and say something?
Yes.
So if for everybody watching, so the class that I'm teaching Baneful, Bringing Back Justice and Balance. And Kelly was so smart and she chose Flying Ointment. And I'm like, damn it, that was smart. So I'm super excited to take your class.
We're not in the same time zone, are we? Michael and I, our sessions are at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the cool thing is you can watch each other's classes.
That's right.
It's the beautiful thing about WitchCon at witchcon.com.
Absolutely the best.
Watch for years later because you're going to miss stuff. You're going to want to, I was like, what did they say? I want to hear that again. You got to rewind it, fast forward it. Well, not when you're in the live class, but later. It's when you go to Hex Fest or something like that, you've got to get strategic and decide what you're going to go to. And like I was saying to Kelly, next time, if we just step outside the quarter, everything's cheaper.
Yeah, we'll plan that for sure.
Extra tax.
Bitchin' kitchen witchin'. The sad part is technically based on your date, we've been friends longer than you've been alive. Yeah.
Ooh, thank you for the peppers. I mean, technically, me and Kelly went to high school together, although I really only attended that high school for about 3 days.
3 whole days. Oh, they weren't even whole. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, well, I found, first of all, they made me take my eye makeup off, put it back on, and then it was like locked down. It was like a prison. It was really hard to sneak off of campus there. So
yeah,
I
we
found
had darts.
the best way to sneak off of campus was just not to go.
Yeah.
And, my mom would drop me off, and I'd hang out in that park across the street, and then eventually make my way to the Eye of the Cat. And then eventually, I took the GED and spent all my time at the Eye of the Cat studying witchcraft full time. I don't recommend it to you kids, but that turned out to be the right path for me. But yeah. Now Kelly's got the reins.
Yeah, if you decide not to go to high school and hang out at the shop, you'll still be in high school because I will make sure you're doing your homework. Yeah.
Bitchin' Kitchen Witchin', that's in Long Beach. The Eye of the Cat is probably one of the oldest stores around. I mean,
Yep.
since Panpipes closed and became something else, um, in just a few years, you'll take seniority because
Yeah.
Panpipes was the oldest in the country, but
Yeah.
they're not the same store anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Regina.
Hey, did I hear you say that Ellie was in here?
I don't think Ellie's in here. Ellie is at
Ellie Barnes.
Yeah, she is at
Yeah.
WitchCon. I haven't seen her here. I've never seen Ellie
Okay.
in my life.
Oh, you must have mentioned her.
Yeah, maybe. But again, so we got me, Kelly, Bree, all going to be at WitchCon, and Bree's teaching baneful magic. It sounded like, right?
Yep.
See, when I first came to Hexfest, I taught 3 classes in magical warfare. And at that time, that was so extreme, there was no other festival where I would be able to teach those things. But I assumed it was so drastic that they would never have me back. So I came with my best material. And then now, every year, I gotta reach in and get better. Every time. It's like they have me booked. They have me booked for WitchCon. Already booked for Hexfest. This WitchCon, I'm teaching magical warfare, feeding on your enemies. So, for those of you that have taken the class, this version of magical warfare, feeding on your enemies, will take several twists because I can't just do a class on an existing product. I have to make it different somehow.
Yeah.
So some new uses for magical warfare, feeding on your enemies, but that is, especially on TikTok, my best-selling class, my best-selling singular class, because people on TikTok love to use it. You know, you get so many enemies out here and so many haters. Why not take that energy all the way to the bank? And as if you weren't here earlier, that idea is based on Kelly's mom's original work. I think the spell was turning a bad situation into your advantage or something like that. Came from protection spells and charms, and still has the same sigil that is the core of the body of my work. So is a variation and an elaboration on magic that both of us were raised on.
Wow.
And a devious idea. You know, the more, all you have to do, is piss some people off and you get free energy. You have others do your spell work for you and you don't have to lift a wand. Just piss some people off. Just, every so often make a video about sweatshop candles, or hoodoo's not a closed practice, or real witches don't vote Republican, and you get a whole bunch of free energy from these people. And you just feed on it.
Yeah.
Now, I've taken that class, Feeding Upon Your Enemies. It's about a year now, and I regularly use that spell. So I'm very interested in the twist that you have planned.
Well, I'm sure, I'm hoping you used it when the whole book controversy was going on because you were getting so much hate.
Right.
I did. I sure did.
Yeah, good.
It got me through. It got me through some dark times.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it did.
And I said this earlier before you were here, but back during the book controversy, somebody, I'm pretty sure I know who it was saying that Bree rushed to get her book out so she could be at WitchCon, even though Bree was already booked for WitchCon.
Right.
And like I said, I am not an author. And there's the whole point of me badgering Christian Day to getting
Yes, you are.
Well, kind
Yes,
of.
you are. I'm still working on the update. Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm not currently an author, but I have been. That book definitely would not accompany magical warfare, feeding on your enemies.
No.
The fluffiest thing that you probably...
It's not fluffy. It is the perfect book for people who've been doing it for a long time as simple reminders and brand new people to the craft who really just want some basics. And the best part about it is you take everything that anybody, in and outside of our group of people, and all the naysayers, and you went go straight to HE six. I don't want to get I don't want to get another notice. You just told them, screw you.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a lighter.
Yes. Well,
I'm
Well,
not going to rub two sticks together.
and that, of course, was because of Renee.
Yes, it was.
She's
Still
alive.
is. She is.
Damn.
Somehow.
Damn.
Mhm.
Our tradition at a certain point, the one that me and Kelly grew up in, developed a right wing and a left wing. My
Yeah.
sisters were left wing, and Renee was right wing. And
Mhm.
Renee had this whole rant about, it's traditional to use matches for your spell work. And I said, no, what's traditional is rubbing two fucking sticks together, and we have evolved past that. And
Yeah.
I took a Bic and I painted with the. I think originally I did it with nail polish. I painted some runes on a Bic lighter, made a blessing ritual, and called it the Blessed Bic. If you ever heard the word Blessed Bic, maybe it's somebody that read.
It originated with you.
Yes.
It's
So
a thing now.
I made it a valid ritual tool, and then they couldn't argue about it. And when the books came into the Eye of the Cat, the first box, Renee was in the other room, and I heard her cackling, and I went out and I looked, and she had opened right to that page. That was, the first open. And so, like, that's absolutely
Brilliant.
meant for you, you fuck.
Yeah, brilliant.
Renee and her minions tore our tradition apart
Yeah.
3 separate times, destroyed the entire thing. But I watched it. And I observed, and what I noticed was each time the druidic craft of the wise exploded, it threw seeds far from its core, and those seeds landed, and those seeds sprouted. And so when I've seen that happen in other traditions since then, when they reach that point of explosion, I've recognized, it's like a pine tree. A pine tree does not procreate without fire. We trip out on forest fires and we try and stop them and stuff, but it's nature's process. And pine trees do not put out their seeds until there's a fire. So every time I've seen that happen, it's like, okay, this tradition's blowing up right now, but it will throw seeds out. And other traditions based on that tradition will spring from those seeds. And every time that happened, and one of those times,
It happened to be you
it threw
with
me
the lighter.
to Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And
I think there were so many people at the time preaching absolutes when at the same time spouting out there are no absolutes in magic. And it was so frustrating for me, just because if I remember one of my experiences was I had a bottle of spring water and I poured it into my cleansing cup, and then I set the plastic bottle on the altar, and ritual hadn't started, and even if it had, who cares? I wouldn't want a plastic bottle on my altar while I'm performing magic. I prefer a clean altar, but the point is that plastic does not become a sacred tool. It was given no energy, no intention, and they're like, "Oh, you can't throw it away now because it's sacred." And if you saw the look on my face, the daggers that came out of my eyes, like, "Are you extra?" Because there's no way you can actually believe what you just said.
Yeah.
But that happens. People get rigid and
yeah, they absolutely do. And I think things are taken to a point of ridiculousness.
Mhm.
I mean, we're partly hoarders, and the things that we never have enough. but in true fashion, in true form, real magic, real witchcraft. I mean, magic comes from within. And what
Hmm.
we use, whether it's two sticks, a glass of water, and so forth, it's what we do with it, with our, with, in witchcraft, within our magic. That's what makes it wonderful. And, the side eyes, somebody giving you the side eye over a plastic bottle in ritual, I mean, good God.
Well, I'm a fire sign, so they didn't weather it too well.
Yeah,
My
imagine not.
my next ritual, everything on the altar was inappropriate. Michael and I are products of my mother. Don't tell me I can't, because I'll prove to you that I can.
Yeah.
My I got badgered into two major rituals, and one of them was when I was a cop, and it was Beltane, and I was badgered into doing the group ritual for the entire tradition. Um, so at that point, I recognized that the Druidic Craft of the Wise had been collecting money for rituals for a couple of years. Um, but we're doing rituals that didn't cost any money. They weren't renting halls and stuff like that. So I get to that point, I go, okay, so I guess we got a bank account for this, right? And they said, yeah. So I said, oh, show me what we got in there. And the last time I'd done a ritual, I dragged them up someplace near Big Bear. I think it was called Juniper Springs. And people were so
Mm.
pissed off about having to go into nature and you know, to worship nature. This time, since there was money there, I chartered a bus. It was called Bus DCW. To bus the people up there, I rented a group campground for a week. Because it was a 2-day ritual at least, and there was 27 active participants, costumes, musical instruments. The goddess needed to come in on a horse, and the horse that we had was an Arabian, most beautiful horse that there is, but they're also kind of tweaky, and so this Arabian would not travel without its companion. So we had to trailer two horses up there. So I was draining the bank account because I knew I was on my way out. Now, I should mention I was a cop, and this ritual happened during the Los Angeles riots. We were up in the Los Angeles National Forest when the riots happened, and my pager went off. They recalled me to go to a riot line. But back then, pagers were pretty spotty, so you could just say later, "No, I never got the page." I got the page. I got the page. I went and I turned on the radio. I heard what was going on. I, of course, was very opposed to what happened to Rodney King, and there's no way I was going to fight on the wrong side of that riot line, so I ignored it. And we were up there for a good, 3 days. Ooh, hey, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That was a hell of a ritual, 2 days ritual. I think I got Giardia. I was so pagan. I was on mushrooms, I guess, but I got so pagan. I started running around naked and just drinking out of random streams, and it
Oh
felt
my.
so empowering drinking out. And I got Giardia. So by the time the ritual came, which was all singing and music and stuff, I had like walking pneumonia or something. I had to knock all my songs down like 3 octaves to be able to pull them off. But it was my last fucking hoorah. I did that. I resigned probably 3 weeks later and went north. Nobody ever saw me again for about 20 years.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna go grab something to drink. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Awesome. So, Bree, how are you?
I'm doing really well.
Wonderful to see you.
I'm doing really well. Wonderful to see you. Thank you. The feedback is really bad.
I hear it.
Dave, would you bring me my earbuds? I hear it. Hold on, Kelly.
Okay. So let's see. We've got some new folks here. How many of y'all are going to WitchCon? We're going to have a great lineup. Oh, where is that coming from? That's Birch's Inn.
Who? Kelly.
Heard my name. Mic check 1 2. No feedback. Yay!
Is that better?
Oh, so much. Wonderful. That's exciting. I'm so glad. 2D Alchemist. I paid, but I probably won't be available live. That's okay. That's the best part about this. You can go back and watch it. I'm still watching some of the sessions from last year. It has taken me this long just to get back and actually finish everything. I have kind of a busy life. So, yeah, there are still some that I haven't seen, but I intend to watch every single one of them.
Mama
So,
Lowell, 1954 is going. Right on, right on, right on. Good, good.
excellent. Yeah.
It's great if people, if there was a way to tell them, who sent you or how you found out about this or something. Because it is part of our contract. We are supposed to announce it on our social media, and I just tend to go overboard. Like,
Me too.
Marta, haven't done the podcast in a while, but we used to do for a couple of years we did like marathons. We'd be on the air like every day interviewing a new WitchCon person.
Last year was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you something and I forgot already.
That happens at our age.
It sure does.
Why am I in the kitchen?
Yeah, it's not coming back. It'll come to me later, and then I'll just blurt it out.
So, Bree, what would you define baneful magic as?
I would define baneful magic as the art of bringing back balance.
Yeah. So why did they give it that name? Because Bane is like bad.
I did. Oh,
No, I mean people
baneful. Well, if you look at the definition of baneful, it is to harm.
Huh? Well,
Birch, I'm going to come out and come back in and see if it helps the feedback.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not hearing it right now, but if you're hearing it, cool.
Okay. I think she's saying, and she'll explain in a second, but I think what she's saying is how to bring balance back in your life from baneful magic and when you're using it. I have a student right now who just wrote a report on that. So I love that this is kind of in the air, that people are wanting, there's so many people out there who are using anything negative to come at you. They're using magic, words, TikTok, everything. They're just coming at you from every direction. And to be able to like bring that balance back after that, I think, that's going to be such a useful tool.
Yeah. Now, I think a lot of people's perception about baneful magic, that it's revenge, and it can be, but, it can also be to right or wrong, to bring back balance into a person's life. I work under the guise of justification. When I do workings and baneful workings, is because I have justification to do it. That lessens blowback. And, I never go after someone unless they've actually harmed me. Well, when someone harms me, it causes an unbalance in my life, magically, professionally, and mundanely. Well, I'm about balance. I want things to be equal. If you take something away, I want to bring something else in. It's just like that. If I have an empty plate, I'm going to fill it. And what it causes, to beat a dead horse to death, when things went down with the Witchtokers grimoire, that was a lot of work, and it was unjustifiably went after. And I'm not saying I didn't make any mistakes because, of course, I did. I was a first time author. I made plenty of mistakes. Um, and I
But you
paid for
stepped
that.
in immediately and owned it too.
I did. But,
And that was what was so shameful, is that people wanted to run off of that. Like, you did this intentionally, and that was harm.
it was.
They were attacking your credibility. They were attacking you. Have every right to protect yourself from that. That is your divine right.
See, I was
Yes, it
attacking
is.
authors that submitted
That's what we
other people's
do.
work. You know, there
I
were
mean,
certain
Yeah.
nobody
authors
ever
that didn't
comes to
do
us
right.
when they're happy. They come to us when they're hurting, in great need, and when they're desperate. That's why we do what we do, is to help other people and enrich their lives. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because I've been having this conversation this past week that, sometimes because we're magical people, we forget that some things really are magical and not mundane. Like I said, a squirrel is a squirrel until it brings you a nut, and then it's magical, you know, or
So
Yeah.
when
get a nut.
fruit flies are showing up in your house in the dead of winter. That's
Mm-hmm.
not mundane, that's magical.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
It's time to
Bree.
step up to the plate and right that wrong.
Hey, Bree. You should turn your camera off and then turn it back on. You're like frozen and you're all angry looking. It's just like froze with this angry Bree face. Waiting for her to turn it back on. Well, at any rate,
How's that?
there you go. Now you're moving.
And if I can ask everybody, follow me so I can actually get my face on here one of these days.
Yes, follow Kelly, man. Knows her shit.
I will try to load more content. It is hard.
You're a working woman.
I am. But I also I don't love myself on camera. I hear myself and I'm like, "Oh, this is awful." So, I'm working on
It's
it.
fine. You have a
A
good
work in
presence.
progress. I'll get there, or I won't, but I'll still keep trying.
Can I talk about the first time I met Kelly in
It's
person?
my favorite story.
You said,
My favorite
okay.
story. I told somebody about this story this morning.
Or our perceptions may be different. So it was at Hex Fest, August 2023. And we were at the Bourbon Orleans Hotel. And I was having a cocktail with Bert. Oh man, it was so hot. And the red dress run was happening. And Bert says, "Hey, let's go outside and have a cigarette." I'm like, "Cool, let's do that." So you have to remember the sidewalks and the streets were really busy and we were kind of packed in. So I walk outside and there's this woman standing there and she's talking with these two guys and I'm almost right beside her. And I'm not gonna lie, I was eavesdropping because what she was saying had my ears up and I'm like, "What?" And Birch reached over and he says, "Hey, Kelly, I want you to meet Bree. Bree, this is Kelly. This is my godmother's daughter." And I'm just kind of sitting there because then I'm putting the puzzle pieces together because I've heard about her a long time before I ever met her. Didn't know what she looked like. And Birch goes, "Ask her." And I look her dead in the face. I said, "What would you do if somebody come after you?" And she looks at me, deadpan as all. I'm like, "I'd unalive them." And I'm like, I could have hugged her and kissed her at that moment. I'm like, yes, I love this
Well,
person.
one of the last times that
That's not what she said, but guys, you get the premise of what she said.
You
one of
kill him.
one of the last times that I saw Kelly's mom, I kind of told part of that story earlier, where she had me a stammering, stuttering, fucking fool. I'm the only person that can do that to me. Um, she makes me sit down. She starts pulling cards. She goes, "So, I've heard you have your own show." I go, "Yeah, I got my own shop." And she goes, "My incense is better." I go, "Absolutely. I'm not gonna fucking argue with that." And she throws some cards. She goes, "So, you got some enemies over there, huh? Got another shop? Stop fucking with me?" I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "I taught you shopcraft, right? And I go, yeah, from like the day I came in here, I was learning how to run a shop. Mom, like you clearly knew what the rest of my life was going to be or something. At 13 years old, I found fucking my passion. And she goes, so you're thinking of throwing on him, huh? You're thinking of throwing back, right? They're throwing at you, you're throwing back. And then I go, well, I've been kind of thinking. She goes, no! You're gonna do what I taught you to do. You're going to feed on them. And that's why my course got the name Feeding on Your Enemies, because she was talking about that transformation rituals. You're gonna do what I taught you to do. And if they ever stop hating you, make them hate you again. Wow. This is why I'm fucking here. She taught me protection magic by talking about this skulking dark figure lurking around at 3 a.m. throwing magic bent on your demise. She taught you protection by teaching you how the hexers hex. You know, she just had this very dark way of teaching a thing that made the lesson stick. And this is why fairy tales are the way they are. The lesson sticks because of the gore and the horror. She's fucking hardcore. Fucking hardcore.
She shook you. She shook you to the core.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to an enemy, when they are attaching to your emotions, they have more power. When you, as Bree said, unalive them in your own mind, they don't hold power anymore. You make the person themselves a non-existent thing. And you may see, you know, a post or something that's negative and it's going to make you angry, but you're angry at the post, not the person. So you don't give them anything. They're dead to you. Then it makes, when you're ready to go and do your own defensive magic and you're in the right mind to do it, you hold all the power because they don't matter anymore. And that is the best defense you can ever have. Of course, words can hurt us. They can attach to our emotions. That's human, you know, well, unless you're Michael, and then it becomes content, but and an all-out witch war.
Turn them into content.
Absolutely. Put them in, yeah. So, you know, but I mean, that's exactly it. It becomes content. It's no longer a human. It's now content. It's complete transference of the energy. They're no longer human to you. And man,
you gotta
watch your power. Man, talk about reclaim your power, unalive somebody in your head. Yeah. You don't have to do anything physical. You don't have to go to jail. Magically, you're done. You don't have to be a participant in that anymore. You don't have to feed into, because you know how a spell works. Somebody plants a seed. It's all the energy you put into it that makes it grow. It's what makes it snowball.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to feed your own demise, don't give it any power. So yeah, that's my simple answer. That's why I tell everybody, when this is happening, what do? You kill them.
Well, people on TikTok, you know, they're hexing people because they said something bad about them on the internet. That's never going to be justification for your spirits, your gods, your goddesses, your ancestors. That's never going to be enough. But, you know, when I get somebody like Ursa, who came to my house, posted pictures of my house with the intent of getting violence visited upon me, absolutely destroyed her life.
Yeah, that's no longer magical either. That becomes mundane, and you can go after her in so many different ways. That's
that I did. I had her magic.
Exactly. That was dumb. Not you, her. That was dumb.
Yeah, the bad fucking idea. All because she was mad at Bree, I guess. I don't know. That's when she came to town.
I like what Wendy said. You don't have to be literally dead to be dead to me. And
Correct.
that's true. There can be a magical death,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
um, that is the ultimate fu. It
That's
really
right.
truly is.
Yep.
And talking about the three deaths, the last that's why I'm very particular about saying a person's name, because I don't want to call them to me. And when
Right.
they're dead to me, um, I will never say their name again. I'll give them a false name like Baltimore, or or whatever,
Yeah.
Hag, whatever. I give them
Right.
a different name.
Batshit.
That works too. Unmentionables is a good one because that covers a lot of territory.
Yeah.
It's funny. My mom had a priestess who thought she could hide from my mom on the astral. My mom dared her, said, "Okay, tonight, hide from me." So she goes and does her work, and she thinks oh, she's never going to find me. She's never going to see me. She comes back and she's like, "How did you do it?" And I says, "Try again." "Okay, I got it this time. I got it this time." Put up all kinds of wards, put up protections. But the fact is, my mom didn't even have to try. The fact that she was hiding from her, thinking of her, brought her directly to her. She didn't even have to do anything.
Yet another hard lesson learned.
So all y'all joining us, we're talking about WitchCon. We got Kelly from the Eye of the Cat, my witch sister. We got Bree Witch. I was hoping to get a few more on here. Maybe we'll have to go live a couple more times for WitchCon, but it's coming up. Was the 16th?
Yep.
February 16th through the 18th, that will be the live event. You can purchase your seat all the way up till March 11th. Of course, after the
March?
18th,
Oh,
you'll be able to, it's almost like a menu by that point. You can actually view every single class that is on the schedule. And I think even from last year, I'm still watching classes from last year. I will go back and rewatch classes that I really, really enjoyed and took something from.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
witchcon.com. Check it out. Check out that lineup. We got a bunch of TikTok witches. I'm hoping Witchfoot's going to show up. They're trying to reach her. I know Witchfoot's going through some stuff, but she is booked. We'll see. We also got the Spirit Witch. Um, we got Jen Norman, who I thought was going to be here. Quite a few TikTok witches. And then one of the things that I'm excited about, I want to see Rachel True from the
Yeah.
original
yes,
crowd. Turns out she's a
Lori
crowd
Cabot.
person. Lori
Yep.
Cabot.
Yep.
Witchcon.com gets presenters that you'll never see anywhere else. Lori Cabot does not leave Salem. She
Yeah.
doesn't do it. She's old. She's been the official witch of Salem my whole witch life. So you're not going to see her anywhere else. And she's interviewed by Christian Day. That's going to be an epic class.
I can't wait.
Lori Cabot interviewed by Christian Day. Lori Cabot was, first of all, the official witch of Salem for most of my life, but the first, to my knowledge, to marry science and magic in a teaching method. And I'm all about that. Science
Yeah.
and magic. Magic is science.
Yeah.
So
Wait
that's
a
what
minute. So are you saying that Lori Cabot's will be a Q&A by Christian?
yeah,
Is
I'm
that
not
what?
sure if the Q&A is going to work, but they pre-recorded
Okay.
Christian was up there and he sat down with her for 90 minutes and just picked her brain.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's gonna be something.
Yep.
But the
That's
whole
exciting.
so get over there,
Wow.
witchcon.com, and look at the presenters. Look at
Yeah. Sean Wild's going to be there.
yeah. And but this year, this is the year that I badgered Christian Day into getting some of the witch talk witches on. We got people out here with huge followings teaching great content, and they have not authored a book. For the longest time, for most of my life, the big name pagans are authors.
Yeah.
But other than that one book that Kelly has possession of, I haven't authored a thing. And I am a big name pagan. I have to say it. It ain't bragging if it's true. And I am an internet witch.
Yep.
Started my internet stuff on YouTube, and now I'm everywhere. I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Clapper. I haven't done a whole lot on Clapper in a bit. Instagram, you name it. I think I have other social media that I don't use that much out there too. But there are people out there with huge followings teaching great stuff that have not penned a book. Yeah, it's time we move into the new age. Unfortunately, I love books. I don't love that the kids these days don't want to read books, but you got to roll with it. You got to give the people what they want. When I first went into business, making stuff, like Mom taught me. She said, if you got a witch store, you want to pretend that you're like an oil company. Any non-renewable resource that people are going to use, you want to make it yourself. Oils, candles, incense, anything they're going to burn up and use up, you make it yourself for cents on the dollar, and you will be successful. And so I tried to explain to people, hey, you know what? Magical oils aren't supposed to smell pretty. They never did. They smell like dirt. They smell like roots. They smell like stuff. But then eventually, aromatherapy comes in, and people add a couple drops of essential oils to the oils that we made the same way forever. Oh, Bree just went away.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully she'll jump back in. And I couldn't convince the market. You can't convince the market what it wants. The market wants something that smells nice. So you gotta add something that smells nice to your brew that smells like dirt.
Yeah.
That's to give the people what they want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was making a tea for myself earlier this week, and oh man, it tasted so bad. It was just terrible. And I'm like, this tastes like dirt. And I couldn't do it. Even though I knew the medicinal properties were there and I needed it, I just couldn't do it. I
You
could,
know
there
what you do
wasn't,
is you take that and you throw as much, if you can handle it, as much star anise in there as you can. That'll cover up any gross taste, and all you'll taste is black licorice.
well, I did put star anise in there and a lot of honey, and it just wasn't making it no kind of better.
Oh, that's a
I think it
shame.
was the eucalyptus that was
Oh,
making it, the eucalyptus and the hippus,
oh,
hippus, hyssop was,
hyssop.
hyssop. That
Oh,
stuff tastes like dirt.
yep, yep,
It was
yep. That
bad.
goes in a capsule, not in a cup.
Yeah.
Catman said you should have added some bourbon. Oh, there's a spirit witch. Uh,
Yay!
Hopefully we've got Spirit Witch coming in here. She is also presenting at WitchCon. She's not feeling well today, so we might not see her face. Let's see. I invited you. There you go.
Oh, she's coming.
Yay!
Hello.
The Spirit Witch. What's happening?
I've got the Rona.
Got the
You got the Rona?
Rona.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You
That
got
is
Me
no
too.
fun.
to
Oh,
get
no.
vaccinated?
Well, then I am glad I didn't take a trip over to your house today.
I know. I was supposed to have been going to a full moon ritual on the Thursday, was it? And I didn't go because I worked late. And then I got sick at around 7 o'clock. So it's a good job I didn't go there either.
Oh,
Yeah.
no good. Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah, I just thought I'd pop on because husband's just gone out. So
So Spirit Witch, I think you go by your name Rachel on the thing because they don't they. They always have me say, Michael Carell, aka Uncle Birch, even though most people know me as Uncle Birch. Most people know you as the Spirit Witch. What are you teaching?
I'm teaching a class on mediumship, and
Ooh.
it will be defining what physical mediumship is, as well as mental mediumship. And really just going down what I do, what I practice, because sometimes I do already know that the stuff I practice is a little different than what most, I'm going to say, TikTok witches practice. And it's based on evidential mediumship. It's not just your basics where you can say, oh, I've got John here and he died of cancer, and it's going more in depth. It's teaching them how to go more in depth and get that evidence that they need to know. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. The evidence that they need to know that their loved one still exists.
Nice.
Because I don't think there's much foundation on mediumship these days.
Agreed.
All over the board.
Yeah.
Speaking of mediumship, Kelly, didn't you just go see the Long Island Medium, or is that later?
I did. I saw her last night. Great show.
Yeah. And did you go to Hell's Kitchen?
Oh my God, I forgot. So I'm sitting there and they bring the food and my camera's sitting on the table so I would remember to take pictures. But they brought the scallops first and I went right in. I didn't remember to take a picture. I just was tasting what I've been seeing on TV forever.
Yeah.
And had the risotto.
I took a picture, the Hell's Kitchen scallops in my mind. We watch that all the damn time.
Yeah. I had to know if everything that I feel like I'm tasting as they're cooking it or, has caused people mental breakdowns was as good as they say. And I was not disappointed, but I did get a picture, which I will be posting probably later today or tomorrow, of the dessert. We ordered two and we each had one and then shared another one in between us because we had one on the menu called chocolate sin cake. And you have to, right?
Yeah.
So we've got pictures of that. And then, yeah, it was a great experience. The service was unbelievably great. Oh my, I just want to live there. There's pitchforks everywhere.
Was Gordon Ramsay there? Did you get to hear all the hollering and the yelling?
No, it wasn't a live show. Dang it.
Did I tell you about my experience with Mr. Ramsay?
No, I just want him to cuss me out once.
Okay, so this is a true story and it ended up in the paper back in England. So I used to work for an adult toy company and I used to sell them and do parties. So I was in the middle of Sheffield and I was getting my kit out of my car and it was pitch black and I'm in the middle, like Sheffield's a really rough area. And I felt this presence at the back of me. So I automatically turned and elbowed whoever it was in the stomach. And it was Gordon Ramsay. He was doing...
Yes.
I swear, he was doing a... what was it? Kitchen Nightmares?
Oh, that's awesome.
And he saw the... I can't say the name of the company, but he saw the company name on my vehicle and came over and asked me for some free samples. And I said, well, next time, make your presence known instead of standing behind me because I thought I was going to get mugged. And I was laughing, and then my hostess came out with her party, and they all took pictures, and yeah, it was really crazy.
That's great.
It makes me wonder, what would be a free sample?
I actually gave Gordon Ramsay some lube, and I think it was this popping candy type stuff that you can use.
I love it.
Yeah.
Some free samples.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Incredible.
I guess everybody
Yeah.
gets a little dry.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, how are you? All right, so we've been talking about WitchCon. You got to get over there to witchcon.com, and you're going to see all of the people here on the screen on the list. We also got Witchfoot, got Jen Norman, who didn't show up. WitchCon.com is coming up on the 16th of February, the President's Day weekend. It is the largest online magical festival ever. Would you say, Bree? Is it $95?
It's $95 for all of the classes. You can either join the live event from the 16th to the 18th. If you can't make the live event, you can watch each class at your leisure. Now, guys, I will tell you, let me tell you a little trick. If you're going to watch WitchCon from your phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone, you're going to want to download ahead of time the app called
Crowdcast.
Crowdcast,
Yes.
Crowdcast, Crowdcast. And that Crowdcast app will be the lobby. It has the schedule there, and you can just go from class to class to class. Take a break, come back in. It also has a chat session in each of the live. If you're going to join it live, you'll be able to chat. You'll be able to ask questions of the presenter.
Yeah.
And because I've taken it, this will be my second year. Like last year, I took Rachel's class, and I was in the live version, but we were able to ask questions. So and most all of the presenters do ask you, like the last 15 minutes, they'll say, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
So I highly recommend get yourself a spiral notebook and a couple of pens, because you're going to want to take notes. I did.
And
Absolutely.
if you don't take good notes, you can watch it later. You can watch
That's
it
right.
over again, fast forward, rewind. We lost the Spirit Witch. How
Yeah.
the hell did that happen?
Like Kelly's doing fly-in ointment. And listen, and there's a lot of good recipes out there for fly-in ointment, but I'm super excited to get Kelly's recipe
Yeah, there's
for
nothing.
a witch's
There's
fly-in
nothing.
ointment.
Yeah.
Nothing like the eye of the cat flying ointment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been using that since I was probably 14 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the teachers back in the 80s came in the other day, and he actually brought me a bottle of not the ointment but the actual oil, before we actually put it into the ingredients that make it a rub-on ointment. And I smelled it, and I'm actually afraid to use it because it's been fermenting all these years.
Oh, hell.
It smells amazing.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it has lasted all these years, but it has. So I don't know. I may just wrap it up and bring it to the next hex.
So, a teacher from the 80s, throw me a name.
Ron.
Ron?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still around. God, I wish
Yes.
does he have any social media or something? That's my teacher.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to push him harder this year to get on all these things and do stuff.
I mean, the last
So,
time I saw him, and the first time I'd seen him in like 20 years, was at your mom's funeral.
yeah.
Both of my
Yep.
teachers were there. Oh, Marta says I'm so hot. Stop that. I'm working here.
Go, Marta. It'll
So,
be the best 90 seconds of your life.
right. So last week or the week before, Michael posts this post about, his mind going and accidentally ordering a non-alcoholic beverage.
That's Marta's fault. Marta went and got her hair dyed red, and she's all dolled up. It was our anniversary of our hen fasting, our 21st hen fasting anniversary, and she's just very distracting. And,
Yeah.
and there was an IPA on that menu that I really like, and I just didn't see it. I ordered. I didn't think about what N/A meant. Non-alcoholic.
What do you mean it's not available? I want it.
It's not available. That's what I said. Wait, it's not available.
Oh, that killed me.
Poor
Yeah.
Marta gets explained. It gets for your shenanigans. She gets blamed for your shenanigans, Birch. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I'm on his side on this one. Have you seen her right after she gets her hair dyed? And have you seen her? Period. It's Marta.
Oh, yes,
She's amazing. I get around her and I get distracted. Love you, Marta. I'm next in line to order the wrong thing. I'll have what she's having.
Love the red on Marta, her skin and eyes. Oh my God, that's her. She could do so red and coral. All right. I don't know what that means. Yes, well, yeah. I got a thing for redheads, so it definitely worked for me.
Wasn't she a redhead when you met her?
Yes.
Sookie
She's been
now.
blonde. She's been redhead. I haven't seen her as a brunette yet.
Oh, she would rock it. She would rock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When I
please
met
don't.
Marta, I looked at her and I'm like, that woman has perpetual sexy bedhead all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And all I can say is, Marta, please don't do it because it's so embarrassing when I hump your leg in public. It's just embarrassing.
Damn, Kelly.
Well, I gotta say it. I said it earlier, but we got different people here. Marta was asked to be at WitchCon. Even though Marta's a Leo, there are these moments where she'll lack confidence, and it just kind of, whoa, table almost went. And it just kind of blows me away. It's like, Marta is a trained teacher in the craft. She has craft that she can teach that none of us know. Russian and Ukrainian craft, stuff that she studies. It's like, she can totally teach. She's a total character. She totally works on camera. She's a Corel. We all are. But she was asked and she turned it down because she didn't think that she had anything to offer. Can you
She's an investigative journalist. She knows everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
Yeah, Marta, you know what? Just don't pick a class topic. Just say, call it Marta in the house. Call it like questions for Marta. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a topic. We'll get you going.
Yeah. She could totally work it. She's fucking made to be on fucking camera.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. With Marta being a Leo, I think Marta would be really good at teaching a class on how to avoid spiritual speed bumps and bullshit. Because Leos don't play. No. They'll watch a good train wreck, but they don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I love that about Leos.
The Stay the Fucking Home show, man. That's when people learn what a character Aunt Marta is. She is a Corel.
That would be great.
And her deadpan sense of humor would be fantastic.
She all of a sudden got quiet. Look at
that. Sorry, we didn't mean to embarrass you.
Marta's a Polera as well. She doesn't talk about that either.
She's been a great support for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We support each other. I mean, I've never been with anybody that I've spent this amount of time with. Me and Marta have been together, with the exception of the month that I worked in retail for some fucking reason. I don't know why I did that stuff. We've been together 24/7 for fucking years.
You mean this past couple months at
Sassy
Nor?
magic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a month. I probably did it probably 2 months. Wow, the wind is not that strong. What the fuck's your problem here? Hold on. Trying to fix
Folks, we're
something.
having a technical difficulty here.
Oh, the whole
Meanwhile,
trying to go.
let's
Meanwhile,
talk about
back at
weather
the
magic.
Oh Lord.
A spell to calm the winds.
Oh, I'll be right back.
so as Birch is getting his shit together, let's talk about weather magic. A lot of people don't talk about that anymore.
Mm.
I also think it's a dying art as well, because people think they have to, stop the wind or cause a gust of wind. Well, yeah, you can. You can cause the wind to gust or to stop, or to
Apparently, Michael
slow.
can't.
I think Marta did it. I think it's Marta. She didn't like me talking about her. Stop that.
You evil
Be
demon.
gone, Rich. You have no power here. Bree, I'm one of those people that really don't talk about weather magic too much. Someone back in, I'm gonna say the 90s, kind of ruined it for me. He comes in with platinum blonde hair, spiky. He's wearing this long black trench coat. I'm pretty sure, and nothing. I like charm, nothing wrong with it, but he comes in and spouting off his, like, I'm just like the girls on Charmed. I'm like, okay. And he's all, do you know weather magic? I'm all, of course, you're the witch shop. What duh? And he's like, can you teach me? Well, I have a sense of humor. So I said, yes, of course I can. You could teach it to me right now. I'm like, yes, lean in. And I blew on him. And he's like, seriously? And I'm like, honey, you're lucky it came out my mouth and not the other end. Now get on, get your shit and get on. So yeah, weather magic. It
It's
it shouldn't fall
real.
into stupid hands.
Well, in the '90s, I used to listen to Art Bell. He was on like 500 radio stations at the same time, and he always had this. There's this witch that would come on, Evelyn Puglini. She was an Italian witch, and she taught him like how to do hexes right away. She was like hard, and she taught him how, if he could get his entire audience to concentrate on one singular idea, he could change the world. And he one time there was these fires all through the midsection of the United States, all the way up into Canada. And so Art Bell, based on her advice, had all of his listeners concentrate on rain developing in the center of the country to put out these fires. It happened. I remember it was early days of internet, where we were able to like watch the satellite footage, and I remember looking at it, and there was nothing there. There was no clouds, and they just appeared in the middle of the country. They usually come off the coast or something like that. They appeared and just started fucking raining and raining and raining and they put the fires out, and they kept raining. Then mudslides, floods, catastrophe way beyond what the fire would have caused, and Art Bell never did it again.
Mm-hmm.
He realized, that's a power you don't fuck with. You don't fuck with Mother Nature. I do not do weather ever.
Well, one of my favorite historical spells is with Gerald Gardner and the 12 witches that collectively came together to alter one U-boat from the German army. And I've done a lot of research on that, and there's nothing out there that will tell you specifically what they did. But if you read the history of it, it doesn't take a lot to figure out that there was weather magic in play. They didn't go after the people necessarily that were on the boat. This is just
Yeah.
my synopsis, is that they did weather magic to alter the course of that one U-boat that changed the course of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and as I recall, that particular magic was based on a druidic magic that was used to sink the entire Spanish Armada.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spanish Armada was unsinkable. But the Druids conjured up a storm when they were coming to invade and fucked them all up.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me think of Sumerian, how when once Inanna stole the May, she took off with it, and her father uncle Inky tried to bring her back with storm. This, weather magic is in all of our mythology. So it makes sense that you would do this. This is what the gods did. We're just their children mimicking what they did.
Lux Crystal Lady, the only way that you can understand druidic magic is severe study of poems, verse, and song. The Druids encased their mythos in verse, song, and poem. Other than that, not much written record. The most you're ever going to find out about the Druids in written record is the Roman battle records. And one of the ones I always talk about is the siege of the Isle of Mona. At the siege of the Isle of Mona, the Romans described the Druids lined up in ranks. And up and down the ranks, women, these would have been priestesses, burning blades of sweetgrass and shrieking to the heavens, running up and down the ranks. Now, sweetgrass would be to call the ancestors. And this would have only been done by a priestess. This is how we know that the Druids were not just a guys' club. They had Druid priestesses too. So ultimately, the Romans described this as the priests are running up and down, shrieking to the heavens, burning these braids. The Druids are raising their arms, doing one singular tone, all chanting the same note at the same time. And the Romans froze in their tracks. They were like incapacitated. And then the Picts come sweeping down from the flank and wipe out the first 3 fucking ranks of the Roman soldiers as they just stood there and died. Ultimately, the Isle of Mona is conquered, the priestesses are graped, but those first couple battles were pretty epic. And it tells us a lot about the Druids from the Roman battle records, because the Romans kept really good records even when they were getting their asses kicked.
I think the Druids also have a mystique. There's a mystery to them that a lot of people find very fascinating. But also in the Norse pantheon, they have something very similar. You know, men and women went to war. And what Birch was telling you, if you notice, women were on the front line as far as the Druids. Was it because they were the strongest or they had the best effect? There's nothing like a screaming woman.
So, y'all, we're talking about WitchCon. Everybody on the screen is a presenter at WitchCon. You got to get over there to witchcon.com. Get your ticket before they sell out. It's the largest online magical festival ever. And it started during COVID, and we've kept it running since then. An epic lineup, epic classes. You can watch them for years later. You'll never miss a thing. But then the Zoom meet and greet. That's where this shit really happens, man. All night long, all day long. Me and Marta will sit in this Zoom meet and greet and meet random witches all over the world and party with them. And we started this during COVID, so that was the only way to party. So we got fucked up, y'all.
Let me give a fair warning to attending an online conference. Have meal prep, have waters nearby.
Yeah.
Unlike a physical conference that you attend where you have breaks to travel from one room to another, we have much less time. You know, the laptop or the phone, depending on what you're on, has to travel to the bathroom with you so you don't miss anything. And grabbing food can be challenging. So, meal prep and have your water right near you. Get gallons. There's so much. It's so one after the other, and it's you don't want to stop. You are sucked in. It is so much fun. You may be alone in your room or living room or car or whatever, but you feel the energy of all these people you're attending with. It is seriously so much fun. So you don't want to miss a moment. You don't eat, and then you're tired and dizzy, and you think, what happened? So meal prep, plan ahead.
That's some really good advice. And guys, I also want to tell you, because this is online, um, there's only so much bandwidth. So there are 1,000 seats
Yeah.
in this.
Can sell
That's
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
So
sold before, so
it
you
has sold out before.
Mm-hmm.
And another tip is to write down the schedule that you want to keep.
Yep.
So if there's a particular speaker, presenter that you want to see, write it down, make a note of it so that you're in that class when you need to be. Because it's awful having to go to the presenter page and pick right there and then which one you want to go see.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
so Wendy's going. Wendy, Texas Osteo Witch. Chaos, how are you? Sounds cool. Be working, but it's not. Well, that's the thing with WitchCon is you can register for WitchCon all the way till March. You won't be in the live events, but you can get all the classes and have them for years. Download them, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, because there's over 100 presenters, right?
Well,
And
Cuban things. We do have a Polero, at least one that I
yes,
saw on there. Tata Oriate is going to be there. We have had Poleros in the past. People from all different paths. I think there's some voodoo people. Just go over there to witchcon.com and look at the lineup and look at what the people are presenting, and it's going to blow your mind.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
upset
there's
because
definitely something for everyone there.
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
Cuban Synergy,
presenting at the same
there are
time as Sean Wilde and his Sin Eater class. And I'm absolutely gutted because I wanted to see that live. So
Oh, are you in his same
yeah,
time slot?
yeah, I'm on the same time slot as him, and I'm just like gutted because I love his classes.
Me too. That's what I'm bummed about. I'm in the same time slot as Michael.
Wait a minute. So what is everybody's time slot? I'm on Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm early.
Saturday 1:30
I'm
my time.
Sunday. I think I'm Sunday at 1. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but
COVID brain.
yeah, I'll be there. I do remember I'm teaching magical warfare, feeding on your enemies. I will have to twist it so it's not the same as the product, magical warfare, feeding on your enemies. But, I can twist it. You'll see.
Yeah.
And Cuban Synergy, Mercedes, there is actually quite a few presenters that are Latina from Brazil. And I also, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a Cuban presenter as well. So there's representation all the way from Brazil, all across the United States, Canada, and the UK. The UK has a good representation.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things is one of the classes last year, the presenter was in Australia, and it was just crazy thinking 'cause she was talking about what time it was there, and we're all together all around the world. That it was nuts to me.
Yeah. So Cuban Synergy is going to be the only person on the screen that's not at WitchCon, or not presenting at WitchCon. But, you know, we could probably figure that out for next year.
That's what I was going to ask you for next year.
I could drop your name.
My name
Absolutely.
is Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah. Well, remind me, you know, after this, and I'll, because he's going to start asking me to recommend people for next year, especially if this works out. This is the first time that we're having WitchCon witches, or I mean, Witch Talk witches at WitchCon, and this is because I badgered the fuck out of the guy, and he wouldn't listen, and he resisted, and he argued with me. I go, and after he argued, I said, I'm not an author. He says, yeah, that's right, huh? And I go, and you have me every year, right? And you have me at Hexfest, right? So big name pagans are not always authors, right? This is what I'm trying to fucking tell you. The world has changed, man. It ain't that way anymore. There's a whole bunch of internet witches out there that have not penned a fucking word.
I've never done anything.
There you
I've
go.
never done anything. And I mean, I'm initiated in 3 different ATRs.
Yeah.
What's that
what
tell
I
you,
could
boys
off-
and girls?
Not
what I
everybody is
can
writers. See, this has been my whole thing for you know, forever. Like I remember, you know, one of my favorite writers, even though he fell from grace, was Raven Grimassi. And Raven Grimassi was a terrible public speaker for the majority of his career. And Raven Grimassi was expected to be a priest, a teacher, a leader of an entire tradition. It's like, no, he's a fucking author.
Yeah.
That's his job. Write books. Okay? Teachers teach. Authors write. You may have some authors that are teachers, but it doesn't always go together. It's like Christopher Penczak was the most boring fucking person in person I ever fucking met. When he did a presentation, he did a guided meditation one time. I fell asleep. I fucking fell asleep.
Hey, I love Christopher.
He got better. He got better. So did Raven Grimassi got better too. But
He did.
We can't expect authors to be all of these other fucking things. We have priests, we have priestesses, we have teachers. That's what they fucking do. And they may write a book, but that's not. We can't expect authors to be fucking everything.
Yeah.
No, and you know, with us TikTok witches, we're used to being on camera. We
No
have
shit.
a presence.
And
We're
that's one of
over
the
it.
things I told him. You all are built for this shit. If you've gone live and talking about witchcraft and answering your fucking questions down there in your chats, you're ready for WitchCon. It's a different format, but it's fucking easy. You are made for this thing. And I see so many fucking authors at WitchCon that can't figure this shit out. They can't figure
And
this
they're great.
out.
They're great at what they do, but their presence, they're not used to being on camera.
Yes.
And they're getting a little squirrely. Okay. Ravenhawk. Star Raven. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm working
Star
on
Ravenhawk
doing
is an
some witch talk
amazing
witches.
teacher. She goes from point to point to point, but you can tell she's not used to being on camera. So,
Well, and one of the things that I'll have to say about Ravenhawk is, you know, she's lately been doing classes based on the art of war. I did that first. I'm glad it's,
His head just blew up.
popular, but that was my fucking gig, man. So
Yeah.
I actually, I'm supposed to be at Witches Fest. That's Raven's thing. I haven't filled it out, but I got to go look what other people have submitted, because I'm at WitchCon. I'm teaching magical warfare, feeding on your enemies, and then I saw this other dude that I'd never heard about. That's taking your energies, taking your enemy's energies and transmuting it for your own use. Which is basically,
Yeah, just go with yours. There's nothing like the original.
Yeah.
You know the difference between the original and a copy. Bottom line.
It was not popular. I thought
Yeah.
they'd never have me back. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to teach the most extreme thing these people have ever seen. And then, you know, they'll never have me back. So I came with my strongest 3 fucking classes. And then next year it's like, oh shit, now I got to top that? Yeah. This year, now I got to top that again? Oh shit.
It's funny because I've been seeing a lot of the younger ones putting videos out about transmuting energy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then they're calling you out and saying what they're going to do. And you're like, what? We've been doing this years.
All the
What are you
fairs that
doing
I'm
right
doing,
now?
every single one has some kind of transmutation oil at it. I'm like, really, guys? Is this the thing now? Okay. But
Like
everyone needs to learn how to do it.
like for me, when I start doing anything or any type of work, the first thing that I go and I do is I work with my ancestors. And a lot of people don't know how to do ancestor work, it seems like. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm from a different practice. So, me even doing this in English is kind of different because I'm used to speaking two different other languages. So, I still don't know a lot of the context of the words that y'all use, even though I speak English, it's my dominant language,
Yeah.
but my practice is not in English.
Well,
And
a lot of people in Palo, they say you got to speak Spanish, you got to speak Bantu. Um,
or or
and
Congo,
I can
Congolese,
fumble my way through some Spanish. I mean,
or Yoruba.
my licencia is in Spanish. I know how to say that. But, my take is like, you know what? The spirits ain't stupid. The idea that your spirits, your ancestors, are only going to be, motivated by one singular language is a stupid idea. Beyond
Well,
death, they are way smarter than we are here.
here's the thing: they're born with you. They already went through whatever they went through, and they've already passed on. So they're
Yeah.
gonna learn the language with you. So
Hmm.
if you're English dominant, Spanish dominant, Portuguese, whatever it is that you speak, they're gonna understand that. Now they might prefer you to speak to them in their language. That's a different story, though. That
Yeah.
has to do with respect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would offer them something that they would have liked when they were alive
Yep.
and
absolutely.
appease them in
Yeah.
some sort of way and then bring them over to the other side.
Yeah. Yep.
People kind of, see, this is the thing I learned in Palo. In Palo, the idea was to elevate your ancestors. And what I see in practice out here on TikTok is people devaluating their ancestors. Like, you can't work with this and that and the other because they were African American and you have white skin, and so they're still mad at you because you enslaved them. It's like, if they don't know what family line enslaved them, then they're stupid. And I tend to think that beyond death, they know more. They see more. It's like, I have nobody in my family line ever, anywhere, ever, that was of the level to own a slave. Now, I have nobody rich enough to have owned a slave. So for the ancestors to be pissed off at me because of my white skin and not know that in my DNA line, nobody in my family has ever enslaved any one of them, that means your ancestors are stupid. That's not elevating your ancestors. That's putting
Well,
your...
that's actually keeping them down and keeping
Absolutely.
them with that mindset that they're
Yes,
still chained down, or
absolutely.
that they can tie you down because of your skin color. Look at
Yeah.
me. I am very fair skinned. I have hazel eyes. So my eyes are green. And I'm
Mhm,
actually the darkest one between me and my brother.
mhm.
Okay. And I'm the shortest one as well. I'm the only one that practices between me and my brother. And my children also practice. So my lineage is I'm good with my lineage. I've done everything and I blew open the doors for whatever needed to happen and transpire. Now, if my children and them don't want to continue, that's up to them. Um, but I am so far now, since my mom is somewhat retired, I'm the one that's taken over the matriarchy of the house. So now I'm the one that's doing things. And I'm just going to answer one quick question because I'm not going to say her name, but B Kitchen Witchin, you were asking about going in and going out of a cemetery before you do work. I would suggest you take, I would say, 4 different items. I would say cascarilla. I don't care what you practice. I don't care. To me, cascarilla can go wherever. So if you want to call that eggshell powder, go ahead. Or whatever you use for cleansing, like black salt, have that on you. A candle, some Bacardi, and 3 pennies for in and 3 pennies out, and 3 pennies if you're doing something at a plot. If you're doing it at a plot, you need to pay respect to that person that's passed on. I'm sorry, guys.
Nope.
Can I also answer that question?
I
So
just
whenever you're
class in that,
entering in
you
a
said it was
cemetery
natural.
or a graveyard, as a traditional witch, I always go with coins, libation, flowers, tobacco, and a myriad of things. And also you can't, I do sometimes take candles, but whether there is a gate there or not, you have to pay the gatekeeper. You have to ask for permission to enter in. You enter in forward, but leave an offering before you enter the gate. Whether you see it or not, there's always a gate at every cemetery and graveyard. When you exit a graveyard, after leaving your altering all offerings and such, you walk backwards. If you drove in, you drive all the way, but you need to walk backwards out of that cemetery or graveyard. And I also highly recommend that you cover your head. And the reason you cover your head in cemeteries or graveyards is to protect yourself and not bring home any unwanted spirits.
Let me add to that. You know, the common is a white headscarf of some kind. I would go one better, white silk. Because the thing that they're trying to do is better done with white silk. White silk or silk will not let a psychic energy pass through it. This is why we wrap the tarot cards in silk. We traditionally wrap our ritual tools in silk. It will not let that energy pass through it. So we wrap them up in silk, and it contains that energy. So while I've seen a lot of people with the white headdresses and stuff, it seems like magically silk would be the better idea for that.
But do you know why silk?
It's the one natural fiber that doesn't let that type of energy pass through it.
Transformation.
Yeah.
Transformation.
Yeah, it makes that makes sense. They transformed it.
Can I also add about cemetery work? Because a lot of people, it's in again. And do your research on the cemetery. Because every single cemetery can be different. Every single grave is different. So, for example, if you do wanting, say, graveyard dirt, and you're going to use it in a hex, you're not going to go to that sweet little old school teacher's grave and take some of that.
Do your research on.
Plus, it's a little disrespectful if you don't know the people of the grave. You can get plenty of graveyard dirt from around the edges.
I've never heard.
It doesn't have to be a specific
Kelly
grave.
I absolutely agree with that. You do not have to take graveyard or cemetery dirt from a headstone. Some of the most powerful cemetery dirt I've ever gotten was along the edges by the cedar trees.
Yeah. That's one of our rules. Find the biggest tree and get its dirt.
Back in the day, probably, from Kelly's mom's work, there was graveyard dust. Graveyard dust you collected from tombstones and stuff. You brushed it off. Remove Cuban synergy. Why? Content been age restricted? No, fuck you people. Live visibility restricted. Oh my God. What is your problem? Consuming featured. Wait, I didn't smoke on camera, did I? Maybe I did. Yeah. Well, at any rate, I got to go at about probably 6 minutes. Marta needs soup. I've got to go seek soup for Marta.
Well, I definitely look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yeah.
Talking to everybody at WitchCon. It's going to be amazing.
So check out witchcon.com, y'all. This is what we've been talking about. Also check me out at unholyblends.com. We have an online shop and an entire social media application on top of that.
And please follow me so I can go live.
Follow Kelly. My witch sister, man. Follow her so she can go live. How far are you from 1,000?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I I see that like 50 people, follow me, and then I don't see my number go up. So I don't get it yet. I'm working on it. I'm learning.
All right.
She's at 360.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, follow Kelly, man. Follow Eye of the Cat. This is the
Yeah,
witch school
I,
that
I've
I
been
grew up in.
I've been doing a lot of spell work this week, and every bit of it. Kelly, I've been using your candle smears. All smears, I love it.
I
Oh,
love
Kelly
the
makes
smear.
some of the best candle smears I have ever used, and
Wait, you've
I've
seen other candle smears?
no, I'm the only one that makes it. You
About
have to make
there's
your own
there's one
otherwise.
other creator that does, and I've tried to
Really?
make my own, and it didn't work. Mine did not work.
There's
Kelly's
another
did.
creator that makes it?
Yep,
Oh, you need to link me. Oh, wait, you're
I
talking
will.
about
It's pretty rare that I see
about
something new and magic
um
I've ever seen.
what's his
Ryan
face?
Adams. Yeah, but
Yes,
I
yes,
honestly, I don't know if
yes.
he sells it. I stand
Yeah,
corrected,
no, he
but
doesn't. He has one that shows how it was made, but remember the difference between like mine and like what he's doing, his stains. Mine will not stain your damn fingers. I do not want my fingers stained.
Yep. And it's got like mica in it, so
Mhm.
once it gets into the candle, it starts to get all that sparkly stuff that looks all magical.
Even even the glitter I use is made naturally. It comes from eucalyptus, so everything is burnable.
You know how I feel
Thank
about
you, Bree.
sugar.
I know I love my schmear. Everything has it on
schmear.
there.
I
And it
even like
says
the
good.
word schmear.
Smear.
Well, that came from Dumbass Witch Wars, and creative came out of it. I'm like, you're not going to schmear me, and plus, you know me, I love my bagels. Love some schmear on my bagels. So I took the powers of my enemies and turned it into a product, and it's my best-selling product.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah,
I love that stuff. I used to do, I still do. I'll tend to carve on the candle, dress the candle, and then sprinkle some powdered herbs on the sigil or whatever I carved, and then rub it in, and it
yeah.
pops. And it's got the herbs in the sigil on the candle. But then you came up with this schmear thing, which takes
Yeah.
it to a whole nother level.
It's doing that, but without all the work or the mess.
Yeah.
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 Almost all of my best products are not a new idea. They are a hack because I love a hack. I love shortcuts. I think one of my favorite ones was back in the day, people sold sprays. Sprays are not a new idea, but we put them in those big cleaner sprays, those big 16-ounce ones that you put your house cleaning spray in. And, I wanted one that fit in my purse. So I told my mom, I said, I'm going to go buy some 2-ounce and I'm selling them this size so we can have them in our purse. That's where all these brilliant ideas come from. They come from my lazy ass.
Is it lazy, or is it really out of need?
Innovative.
Need.
Innovative ass.
Need.
It's problem solving 101.
All right, y'all. Check out witchcon.com. Everybody here, except for Cuban Things, is booked for witchcon.com. Maybe we'll get her on next year, though.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, join and get into the what is the it's not it's where we all hang out. What is it called again?
Meet and greet.
The Zoom meet and greet. If
That's
you're in the Zoom meet and greet and he meets you, he'll instantly take you on.
That's what happened with Kelly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you you have to. I'll follow you and bother you about it.
Gotta go get Aunt Marta some soup.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. I'm glad some people showed up. Hopefully,
Alrighty,
Witch
see you
gonna be
later.
there. Check out WitchCon.
Spirit Witch, feel better.
And Spirit
Thank
Witch,
you.
get over your Rona.
And Uncle Birch, message me if you can.
Okay? I'll see y'all later. Blessed
Bye,
be.
guys.
Bye bye. Blessed be.